Welcome to the Clyde FC podcast, brought to you in partnership with Tony Flynn Mortgages. We are live on site from New Douglas Park in Hamilton as we build up to the first home game of the season in this new chapter for the Bully Wee, as we sit proudly top of the league. Joining me to build up our excitement for the kick-off at 3 p.m. is Mr. John Boyce. Boyce, how are you doing, sir?
Fantastic. League leaders.
I know.
Let's
go.
Let's go get those 3 points, Paul.
And let's hope that it's the same come 4:45 this evening. Every game's going to be big this season. We face a familiar foe in Peterhead. We all know our struggles against Peterhead in recent terms, but we will come to cover that off in more depth. We've got some slightly more positive news and discussions to have before we look at that. So, as I mentioned at the off, we are now sponsored at the Clyde FC podcast. We have a partnership with Tony Flynn Mortgages. Tony Flynn Mortgages have been providing support and guidance for your home ownership journey for the last 15 years. He prides himself in being Scotland's soundest broker. And we're delighted that he has agreed to help us. But not only help us, he has agreed that for anyone who quotes Clyde FC podcast upon a first consultation, there will be £100 donated to the Clyde FC Community Foundation. So not only is he helping the football club, he is helping the foundation as well. So please, if you need a mortgage, go and give Tony a wee shout.
No, absolutely. Great to see that link with the foundation as well. But Tony Flynn Mortgages also specialise in first-time buyers.
Yeah.
As something myself I've recently done, bought my first place last year. It's very important to get that sound advice, and what better way to do it than with Scotland's soundest broker?
And you're helping the club at the same time.
Absolutely.
So win-win. Just for more information, we will tweet out some graphics later on, but you can go to www.tfmortgages.co.uk for more information. So, football. Let's talk football, boys. It's hard to underplay just how good an opening game we had, other than the first 20 seconds.
I'm still in a state of euphoria, to be honest. That opening goal for Queen of the South, you get that feeling of, oh no, here we go again. But listen, the boys showed absolutely fantastic character, as all good teams have to do. And for the rest of the game, absolutely played Queen of the South off the park.
Yeah, I mean, it's as close to a 90-minute performance, or a complete 90-minute performance, I think many Clyde fans have felt they've not seen in a long, long time, taking aside that first 20 seconds. Would you agree with that? I mean, when was the last time you saw a Clyde team dominate in such comprehensive fashion?
I know, absolutely. I think in any game, it was maybe the Stranraer game where we won 6-1. But listen, as a complete away performance, a lot of fans were coming away saying that's the best away performance they've seen in a long time.
Yeah.
Wasn't just the manner of our goals. We'll go on to speak about them. Some of them were fantastic individual goals. Some of them were great team goals. It was just the galvanisation of everyone after that goal, and I firmly believe the fans played a good part as well, because let's not forget the 250, 300 strong away support that went down for the opening day, constantly singing, constantly getting behind the team.
I felt 3 or 4 times that, to be honest, with the noise that was coming from us. I couldn't agree more. Boys, say the fans last week were incredible. They were utterly incredible. The second that goal went in after 20 seconds, it would have been easy for any football fan to just, as you said earlier, go, oh, here we go again.
Yeah.
But they instantly just hit in with more songs, and they got right behind the boys. It was fantastic.
For me, it was just a 90-minute performance that you just felt part of it, like nothing else mattered. You were just in that moment. And for me, that was capitulated when the third goal went in, when I forgot I was actually on crutches and nearly fell over again.
Yeah, I think the crutches made more of an appearance than you did in the highlights.
Yeah, no, absolutely. But listen, fantastic performance for the boys, and that first goal, our wonder kid Ollie McDonald.
Let's break it down.
Finish.
Yeah, so we'll turn the blind eye at that first 20 seconds because it wasn't pretty. But what was pretty was, as you say, the way that the boys bounced back and dealt with that annoyance of going down so early.
Yeah.
The first goal, Ollie McDonald has been a find, I think most Clyde fans feel so far. And the first time finish is quite sublime, isn't it? It's gorgeous.
It's stunning. The thing I took away from this game, though, which is it's just such a positive for me, is we scored from a lot of set pieces.
Yeah.
Like,
it's been a long time
and it's
since
not
we've looked
just normal set pieces, it's training ground stuff that's catching teams out.
Mm-hmm.
So the first goal that we scored, it's Queen of the South are setting up. We take it quick to the edge of the box. They're expecting the ball in because Brian McLean and Peter Grant are up. They're expecting the ball in. Ollie McDonald darts round the side. Saw some Queen of the South fans talk about their right back.
Yep.
Their number 12, I believe, coming off the post. I still don't think he would have gotten to it because it's such a nice reverse finish into the far corner. And Max Curry, he's the best keeper for making goals look great, isn't he?
No comment. I mean, he did his best to try and keep it out, but I think it was always moving away from him. From our angle, I did fear that he had just clawed it, but it was a sensational finish from Ollie, a sensational reply to falling down so early. Now, we backed that up with another fantastic counter-attacking goal not too long after, before half-time, I should say, with Ross Cunningham bagging the second for the Bully. I felt that this was just as equally a pleasing goal on the eye, slightly different aspect to it, winning the ball back in midfield from this high press that since, especially the Morton game onwards, this high press that we're putting on teams is winning us the ball back in brilliant areas in order to launch these quick counters.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think the headlines obviously go to Ross for it looks like an easy finish, but it's not. No. It's coming quick at him and he's got a good connection. Sliding in, but the ball came over the top. Peter Grant wins it, as he has done this whole career.
Apart from the first 20 seconds.
Well, we were sweeping past that.
Yeah, sorry, I'll let it go.
Yeah, Ollie McDonald gets the ball on the far side and his footwork's sublime.
Yeah.
Plays a lovely through ball to Connor Duffy, who was man of the match, and quite rightly so.
It was sensational.
Squinting, it looks like Ronaldo playing with that number 7. But no, lovely play from Connor Duffy. Sends the ball to the shops and puts the ball in for Ross. Yeah. But a fantastic counter-attacking goal and Ross Cunningham's first goal in the Clyde FC podcast sponsored away top.
So I think that's now 3 and 5 for Ross this season as well. So keeps up that ratio. He'll be looking at close to 20 goals this season, and that's what you're going to be hoping for. The second half, I was expecting Queens to really come at us. Wasn't sure if it was just a case of maybe opening day nerves on their part, but certainly not from our side. And we didn't take the foot off the throttle. Yeah, there was maybe first 10 minutes, I thought Queens had more of the ball than they'd seen in the first. But the second we got a foothold in the game again, we stamped our authority on it. And that was the most pleasing aspect for me.
Yeah.
Throughout that game, when we got the ball, we used it so well.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I mean, that was epitomised for me by Mo Gomez.
Oh,
in the first half. There was one move in particular I remember where he got the ball, 2 Queen of the South players were around him, and he just wanted to turn them both, and he did in one motion, and then rolled back the years and just sprinted forward, so I've been made to eat my words a little bit because I've said on the podcast before that Grant and Gomez didn't work for me.
I was going to ask you about that because it was something that we discussed, I think possibly 2 weeks ago, maybe even last week as well, and I did say, and I'm not just blowing my own trumpet, I did say that it can work because Mo Gomez can play in a more advanced role.
Yeah.
Do you think last week changes that for you?
Well, I still think, the performance was great. And it was obviously a positive one. So I would imagine it would be the same starting lineup today. And hopefully see more of that. But if we continue with performances like that, Paul, we're going to win the league by October. So let's
not want to get carried away. Are you, John?
Listen, great opening day performance. Full-time team at home, absolutely destroyed them. Now today is the critical part for me, because it's a team that is tipped to be around us, a team that we haven't actually beat at home since January 2018.
Wow.
Which is some stat, considering the amount of times we've played them. It's 4 years.
Yeah.
So today, it's one for me where we should win, because we'll go on to speak about Peterhead's form and their troubles this season. But, if we win this, that's a massive confidence boost, because you're not only getting that win over your kind of bogey team, if you will, from the past few years, you're also getting back-to-back wins at a very early stage of the season. Something that you want.
Yep. Likewise, I think it's something that we have struggled as a team to do in a long time as well. I couldn't off the top of my head think of the last time that we went 2 or 3 games unbeaten at the start of the season. So it certainly gives you that foothold in the league to then build and enhance your performances. And if last week is the benchmark, it's a high benchmark to keep up. So let's talk third and fourth goals. Third goal. Now, the third goal came directly from another moment of brilliance that seemed to have almost been overlooked. It was temporarily overlooked, I think, even in the highlights discussion.
Yeah.
And that's Neil Parry's penalty save.
Yeah.
It was a sensational save.
Yeah.
As well.
No, it was brilliant. Neil is obviously a big keeper, and he used all of his 6 foot plus frame to get to that one. There's a really good shot in the Queen of the South gallery where you can just see it catches the very bottom of his hand. But you've got to have strong wrists to do that. We're both keepers back in the day. Not anymore.
Tried to be
joints are made of digestive, but fantastic save. And not only was it just a save, it's important, because if that goes in, it's 2 each. Queen of the South could maybe turn the game on its head in the ascendancy. But then, straight from him collecting the ball and punting the ball, we get a third, which is, more great work from Duthie down the left. Physical play as well, beating off 2 men.
Yeah.
And then playing it across the box. Queen of the South defenders maybe, a bit disappointed in their organisation with that one. But listen, the ball comes to Jordan Allen and takes a touch, gets out his feet, textbook, and puts it away.
It's textbook, as you say, getting that first touch away from your body. He's taking the defender completely out of the game, and a lovely finish to boot. Great celebration as well, right in front of the travelling support.
And listen, the big thing for me as well, lots of big things for me from that game, clearly. All main strikers got a goal.
Even coming off the bench.
Coming off the bench. And if you're including Duthie in that as well, maybe didn't get the goal, but got the man of the match performance. So they're up and running very quickly.
Yeah.
And in a confidence-based sport.
Yeah. An assist and, for Connor there, 1 assist and a very sizable hand in the third goal.
Yeah.
So it was more than an adequate afternoon for Connor.
Yeah, no, it was good.
The fourth goal, you alluded to at the start of the show about set pieces.
Oh, yeah, there was 4. What a day.
Yeah, what a day, And I never actually really appreciated it at the time, because we were all too busy being elated and singing and dancing. In the stands, it was another rather clever set play by ourselves. The old, you taking it, am I taking it?
Yeah.
I don't know what we're doing. But it was clear that it was always Ray Grant, the way that it was done. It was watching the highlights back. I truly appreciated how clever it was, and what a cross in.
Yeah, no, it was brilliant. I like how Ray Grant's Alan Shearer celebration has now translated into instructions for free kick, just hand up. But no, another set piece masterclass from Clyde straight off the training ground. As you say, it was a bit of confusion for the opposition, but what a ball in! And the smallest boy on the park, or one of them, leaps like what was it the Clyde admin said? A little salmon. Unmarked salmon.
That was possibly my favourite tweet of the season so far.
Absolutely. But yeah, cracking finish, and almost sent me to the hospital.
Yeah, and we saw it out. We should obviously mention as well that Queens did go down to 10 men, I think, in the aftermath of the third goal. hoping that there was no kind of major issues with Connor thereafter. He did get substituted. Hopefully that is just a precaution, and we do see him in the starting lineup today. So yeah, a fantastic 4-1 victory for the Bully, and it meant that we finished match day 1 top of the league, and it looks magic. And fingers crossed that does stay the same come 5 o'clock this evening.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think we've got a really good opportunity here to get some more points on the board, especially as we've said with Peterhead's kind of struggles early in the season.
Well, we move on to today's opponents and just obviously it's been a bit of a struggle for them through the League Cup campaign, and likewise their opening league fixture. Yeah,
no, their stats don't look kind. They've beaten us most of the time recently. We've not beat them at home since January 2018, where it was a 1-0 victory. A late goal got us the points at Broadwood that day. But yeah, they've had 6 games so far this season, competitive games, including the Betfred Cup. They've scored none and conceded 19. So that's obviously a worry for Jim McInally and his staff. And today's no different. Looking at the match report, or the match preview, sorry. Jason Brown, who had a head knock last week. Thankfully he's okay, but he's not been risked for today. He's their main man at the back. Andrew McCarthy, Hamish Ritchie, Russell McLean, Andy McDonald, all out. And those are their key players. The spine of their team is gone. They do have 2 trialists added to the team who have left Aberdeen. I believe they're Aberdeen youngsters. But yeah, they'll be coming here looking to at least get their first goal of the season. Hopefully pick up some points. Jim McInally was saying, Danny Lennon's built a very experienced squad this year from back to front. And I would echo that as well, because we do have good physicality and experience, not only in the team but in the right areas. Because
I would slightly disagree to a point that there's far more youth in this team than there was certainly last year. In key areas, I would argue as well. So yeah, there's definite experience, Brian McLean, etc. Goes without saying, but I do think there's more of a youthful element to this Clyde team this year. Yeah,
no, absolutely. I guess the experience in key areas for me is your centre-back positions, your midfield. And then, as you say, we've got youth, but in the moving forward roles, you need that energy. And you maybe don't need as much organisation in those areas, because it's alive. Like you watch Ollie McDonald, he can just do anything. He goes anywhere. Whereas at the back, if you've got that kind of youngster with no experience, teams can exploit that. Now we've got Brian McLean, Peter Grant, Mo Gomez in the middle, Ray Grant, who's experienced now as well. So that's always pretty good.
Oh, how we doing? We're just being joined in the room here by Mr. Danny Lennon.
How
you doing, Danny?
Hi all, how are we doing?
So yeah, it's one of these ones where the man who's just entered the room here will be guarding against complacency, John. No matter how many players Peterhead have out, we have to be very, very careful, very wary, and continue on with the good that we saw last week.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think Danny will be looking for a good kind of, moving forward today. All the best, Danny.
It's kind of awkward there.
But yeah, no, I think we'll be pretty good.
Just looking at the comments, Martin, thanks for joining us today. They'll be looking to impress, and we need to still be doing the same. Absolutely. Yep. We cannot rest on our laurels after last week, John. Peterhead will be the wounded animal, and we've been in that position before over the years, perhaps not fancy to take anything, but we go and do it. We have to make sure that we are not on the end of that today.
I think they'll be obviously looking for something, but if I'm looking at predictions, probably going to look for a Clyde win to 0 for me.
The stats will say that, obviously, very much so. I think you look at our last 3 games in particular, we've played 3 full-time teams. We've scored 6, conceded 2. And in one of those games, we did draw a blank as well. So if you look at that, we've scored 6 against 2 full-time teams. It's not that
Yeah, no, it's
Easy done, is it?
no, it's good. And the last few seasons with Clyde, we've played really well against the so-called bigger teams in the league with our passing styles. And as I said earlier, it's games like today that really make the difference. You want to beat the teams around you.
Yeah.
And Peterhead have been one of those sticky ones. Now, if we can get the win today, that will do wonders for our confidence.
Yeah, absolutely. And we are also boosted by a new signing as well. And I believe you've done some homework, shall we say?
Well, a quick Google would be the correct phrase, but no, Eric Sula joins us, Slovakian. Comes from the top flight in Slovakia. Not going to pretend I know much about the Slovakian top league.
Pedigree, clearly.
Yeah, been there for the last couple of years. And he's a big ball winning defender. Now, the way I usually look at signings that I don't know much about is through Football Manager.
Yep.
So I've actually, which is usually quite accurate.
Fairly good gauge, yeah.
So I've looked up his Football Manager stats, and I'll go through them with you. So
okay.
For your defenders, you're wanting some tackling ability and some bravery. He's sitting at a 12 out of 20. Natural fitness, marking, and determination, 13.
We'll get that up to a 16, all right.
Heading, leadership, and jumping, a 14.
He's 6'4", so we'd hope so.
So you're seeing that picture being built.
Yeah.
He's a big ball winning defender. Now, with that role, what would you say would be a key top ability?
For a ball winner, you want aggression, you want anticipation. That kind of traits, I would say. 16
for strength.
Oh, he's a big boy, I like it.
So we've got quite the physical backline this year. And if Eric is available for today, obviously like to see him start and see what he's all about.
Let's see what he's all about. Stuart Payton's just saying welcome to Clyde FC, Eric. Absolutely, Stuart, and thanks for getting involved.
Maybe he'll pop in.
Who knows? Yeah. We can help him when he's Scottish. As Danny said, he's struggling with his English, but he's doing well with his Scottish.
Absolutely.
So, just looking ahead then, it's a big game. We'll be back next week as well. I think we'll be live on the Saturday because we're at home, aren't we?
Yes,
we're at home to Celtic.
You should know the schedule, Paul.
I really should, shouldn't I? Oh, wait, Martin Brown's asking about his passing ability quickly.
His passing ability?
You never looked it up, did you?
I think that was a 10. That was
okay. We'll just
you're
making this up now, aren't you?
Yeah. No.
We'll tweet it out to you, Martin. Next week we'll be live again from New Douglas Park ahead of the match against Celtic Hearts, and who knows, we very well may be still sitting top of the league. Who knows? We may even have extended our lead at the top.
Oh, it's great to talk about.
I know.
This.
It's either that or this is getting clipped by Peterhead fans come 5:30 tonight and blowing up in our face.
Yeah,
so
the Bluetooth podcast.
Yeah, please don't call him. Please don't. So, until then, thanks very much for tuning in and getting involved. We will be back next week. And until then, come on the Bully Wee.
Come on, Clyde.